Yep.
All right, we're live.
Episode 125.
Wow.
Wow.
Grabe, ang dami na natin episode.
Ang tanda nyo na, 125.
125. Pero,
Ano ba yan?
anong tawag
125
doon?
years?
No, well, we do one a week. So,
Yeah.
that's 125 weeks.
So, yeah. So, that's like 3 years. No, I mean, a little less than 3 years.
Yep. Quite a long time. So, we're going to have an awesome show tonight. We've got Club 200 in the 29er Rider House. We'll be talking to Pres Bobby Unson and the legendary Miguel Bichara. And we're also going to be talking about this really interesting. I don't know if it's a race, it's an endurance race that Club 200 is putting out. And we're gonna. Ako, honestly, I'm not a race person. I'm not big on fast bikes, but I am super interested in this. So that is going to be the endurance race by Club 200, sponsored by Army Navy.
Yes.
Uy, speaking of race, Iba,
Endurance relay. Yep.
ano ka ba? Updated ka ba sa recently concluded Philippine Superbike?
All I know is next week we've got a champion on our show. It will be TJ and Totti Alberto. And they're gonna educate me, but honestly, not really. Ikaw, ano yung balita?
Hindi, yung very exciting yung ending nung natapos na Philippine Superbike na championships.
Exciting yung ending. Yung
Ganda
last
nung
leg.
ending.
Ano,
Oo.
well, not the race per se, but things that
The
went
behind the
in-
scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Yan, oo.
Ano nangyari?
Alam mo,
Kasi-
ito yung nami-miss ko yung mga sinuunang inside racing. Yung talagang, yun yung laman ng IR dati talaga. Yung mga unang-unang episode, ay unang mga magazine sila. Yung, yung mga insiders, mga intriga.
Hindi naman ako not too into the scene. So, Jolly, ang lakas ng buhok. All
Sorry.
right.
Maayos na yung mic ko. Maayos na yung mic ko.
Okay na.
Nasa ilong ko kanina.
Well, okay, that's Bobby, Miguel. That's how professional we are. We start off with mics in our noses. So we're on episode 125, and practice obviously doesn't make perfect for 29er Rider. And we've got Pres Bobby and Miguel from Club 200. These guys are
Thank you.
legends. They're institutions in the motorcycle community, and they're gonna share a really cool event, endurance race. That's the first time I've ever heard of anything quite like it. They're gonna share it with us. But yeah, welcome to the show, Bobby, Miguel.
Thanks for having
Thank you.
us.
Thank you, Iba. Jolly, thank you for having
Thank
us
you,
here.
Iba. Jolly.
Mhm. Thank you for being here.
Oh, nga. Jolly, you were
So-
saying na may balita sa karera over the weekend. Our good friend Gino Rufino is the what do you call
Commentator.
it? the commentator.
Commentator,
And
oo.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
commentator. Yeah.
Kaya nga hindi ko alam iba kung talagang sobrang nail biting nung karera na yun o talagang nadadala lang ako sa sa pagkwento ni Gino eh. Kasi Philippine Superbike Championship kasi meron ng PSBK TV yata yun. Meron na silang YouTube channel eh. So you can watch
Yeah.
all their races na
oh,
live.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, live stream.
So yun, parang normally parang si Iba hindi ako masyadong into the racing scene pero dahil nga dun sa YouTube channel nila I subscribe tas napapapanood ako eh. Ganda nung I like the ending nung recently
What happened? What happened?
concluded. Nanalo si TJ Alberto. And yun nga yung yung dog fighting nila during the last the last lap was tawag dito, nail biting.
Maybe Bobby and Miguel can explain to us what happened.
Okay, well, basically, Marvin needed to have a 3 and a 2, or a 2 or a 3 for 2 races. So he tried his best. I think on the first race, I didn't see the second race. Miguel was there. He really, you can see
I
he
saw
really
both
tried
races.
his,
I watched both races.
maybe Miguel can, but I saw on the first race, he really tried his best. Got really close to Zanetti on the last turn, but wasn't quite enough. And then the second race, Miguel could say something about it also.
Yeah. Well, in race 1, TJ won. Second was Zanetti, and third was Marvin. And the race in the afternoon, same thing. It was TJ, Zanetti, and Marvin. But all Marvin needed to do is get a third place in the first race, and a second place in the second race, then he would have been the champ. But well, that didn't happen. Of course, he got third. So.
At
But it was a
saka
good race. You can see Marvin trying to pass Lorenzo Zanetti, who was an import. So he was trying to pass him to get second place, but he would close in. Late break, try to close in while we were watching from the top, and he would try. But Zanetti is a super bike. He's an international
Yeah.
super bike rider, and
first time
and-
yun Iba
yeah,
May
so
May imports.
na Superbike World Championship rider.
Wow. Wow.
So yun.
That's what, anyway, that was what Jolly was trying to explain to me earlier. And
Si Iba kayo
we
nakatina sa akin
had-
ha?
but thanks, Bobby, and thanks, Miguel. Maybe you can share with us first what Club 200 is and a little bit of your history. How do you guys get into it? Press Bobby?
I think Migs would be being a founder. He would be in a better position to talk about it.
Oh, maybe
Well,
maybe you can
our club started a little bit before 1994. We were meeting up, riding in the early 1992, 93, even 91s. We were in early 91. We were riding together. We were all on sport bikes, and by 1994, the group became more solid and sort of more serious. And then, so we formed Club 200, Riders Association Inc. No, we wanted to just use Club 200. So anyway, in 1995, we registered Club 200 Riders Association Inc. in the SEC. We wanted to use
Wow,
Club 200 lang. We wanted to use the name Club 200 lang, but apparently it was already used by some golfing entity already. So Club 200. So we decided, okay, use Riders Association Inc. So that was used in 1995. So officially, Sa SEC, 1995. But we were actually riding before 1995 together, all on sport bikes. We were six founding members, and eventually, as the years passed, it mushroomed to how many now, Bob? 38, 40, 39?
Yeah, we're about 38,
About
38, and
38
about
members now.
35 actively riding.
And
And how many of the founders are still riding within your batch, Miguel?
four. Four out of
Not bad.
six. Four are still riding, currently riding. One passed away, which is my late brother, and the other guy quit riding due to health reasons. He quit riding, so only four founding members are still riding, which is Red Romero, Bong Natividad, Dr. Patrick De Leon, and I. So it's
So
good.
after
We're
almost
still
two
we're
decades,
still riding.
that's impressive. So when you
Yeah.
started, you were what, 12?
You mean years old or no?
You're 12 years old.
No, when we
Well, I had a
started.
motorcycle when I was 10. You know.
Oh, Bob had a motorcycle and he was 10. Ako, no, I had a motorcycle at the age of 16 na 17. Actually, it wasn't even mine. It was my dad's CP754 na tinatakas ko. Ginagamit ko papuntang San Agustin sa Dasmariñas from Merville.
Hindi ka tunay na rider kung hindi po tinatakas yung motor ng tatay mo.
Tinatakas ko yung motor ng dad ko sa CB754, then I would bring it to my high school kasi co-ed yung high school doon. So yung mga girls doon, pinapahangkas ko, "Hi Miguel!" They would say, "Hi Miguel! Hi Miguel! Can we ride with you?" Sure, sure. Hahawak silang ganon. I take them around Dasmariñas village lang. Kahit walang helmet, that time they allow it. They're not strict naman in
Cruise
Dasma.
era yun.
And that was, I think, in the late 80s. Late 80s na yun. Ikot-ikot na ako dyan early 80s. Kasi I graduated high school, which are early 80s eh. So, late 70s. Holy shit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Grabe. So anyway, I would take my and the girls co-ed, make hangkas-hangkas. Ay, no, it was so much fun. But anyway, my dad found out. So nagalit siya, but eventually he gave in.
Alam mo, sa tingin ko, iba, we started riding in the wrong era.
You know
Sa
what?
panahon
You're
namin,
right.
Miguel, when you ride bikes papasok sa school, hindi girls yung lumalapit sa amin, kapwa lalaki.
Hindi.
That's true.
Sa amin, girls. Sa amin noon, girls talaga. Oo.
All riders in the beginning have this misconception, I think, that when you're riding a motorcycle, ang dami kang mamimit na girls. The reality is you will meet hundreds of guys who
Yeah,
are also into
true.
motorcycles.
Yeah.
I
Press
think it
Bobby,
comes
how
with the
did you get into
territory.
riding?
Me,
yeah.
I started when I was, at 10, we had like the Velosolex and the Honda P50 in the house, no? And then I think I was like 11 or 12. Yamaha came up with a small DT. It's called the GT80. So my dad got me one, and then we found out there was like a racetrack in Fort Bonifacio. So we used it there, and then the tires were too slippery, so we started ordering Nabi tires for it. Before I knew it, we were entering the races with it already. Because at that time, Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, they were not around. Yamaha was represented by Norquist. Honda, of course, was Maluasa. I mean, it was all the local distributors only. So pretty much everything was homemade. No? It was only in the late, I believe, early 80s that the factory teams started supporting the local motocross races. Or it's either you have a sport bike, a motocross bike, and a Harley. There's no adventure before, no such thing. So, in fact, Toti, I was riding with him when he was 14, actually. Joby
Okay,
Tanseco was, I
okay.
think, 16, 17. That was really back in the day. You know. So that's that's pretty much Joey Almeida, for example. He was like my childhood friend, although he's like 2 years older than me. But he was really way ahead, with Butch. And basically, they practically started motocross. Of course, the father of motocross here is Tyrone Calao. He built the first track, but then it just moved forward. So that's pretty much how I got started in it. But I joined the Club 200 late already because I was when I met Toti, we were into sport bikes. Then I stopped sport bikes for a while. I was into Harleys, and then after the Harleys, I Joey Almeida got me into this adventure bike, so I got into started traveling and all those things. And then I got fascinated again because I believe once a rider is you will always be a rider. So that's it.
So, what is Club 200 about?
Mix, can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Really
Bob.
quick. No, because I saw one caption, uh, and it was so fitting for Club 200. You know, and it was Archie Garcia who posted it in Facebook. It's a club built by friendship and speed. I said, this was really a nice caption for Club 200. Basically, no showing off. It's really just the love and the passion for bikes, for sport riding, and the friendship, of course. That's I think a very accurate
Well, since you guys have been
description.
around for almost 2 decades, it seems like it's a great foundation. Friendship and speed.
Yeah.
What do you think, Miguel?
Yeah, actually, when we started Club 200, we were all on sport bikes. I mean, even now there are young guys that sometimes they it's more of saddle time because most of these guys have been riding in our club for since like more than 2 decades na. Actually, magiging 3 decades na. So we've been riding sport bikes and bikes for more than 3 decades, almost 3 decades now. you know I hear comments from other people na they say, wow, these guys are fast, pero pag tanggal nila yung helmet nila, pucha, puro white hair na, medyo may edad na sila and all that. So that's my point. I tell them, I explain to these young guys, you guys right now on those sport bikes are like pilots on single prop Cessna planes lang. These guys have been are like jet fighter pilots na or commercial plane pilots already. May edad na sila. They have a lot of flying hours or a lot of saddle time. So when you see them ride or when you see us ride, we're riding as a group. The pace is not too slow and it's not too fast, but it's fast enough that we overtake cars but it's one group doing it. So some of these young guys that see that, parang they try to catch up, they try to follow. So we tell them, don't do that because it takes years to develop that skill. It's saddle time eh. It's like flying hours eh. It takes time
Mhm.
then. So sometimes there are accidents. We hear of accidents, and they said, "Oh, this guy was going fast." Then when you find out why he was riding fast or where he was riding fast, he wasn't with a group. He was all alone. Tapos na aksidente. With us kasi, it's a group. It's like a train. It's a train of
Mhm.
bikes. So minsan, when with that train of motorcycles, there's no way for cars to make lusot kasi sabay-sabay kami, 'di ba? So it makes it safer. Now, when everybody has the same pace, I mean, you can't have a guy on a cruiser riding with a guy on a Kawasaki ZX-10R and a guy on a adventure bike. Magiging iba-iba yung pacing niyan eh. Iba-ibang bike yan eh. So that's why when most of us ride, it's either adventure bikes or sport nakeds. It has to be the same. The skill level is the same, so the bikes more or less are the same also. So that's very important in our club, and so that makes the club safer. So that's what Club 200 is about. Also, it's the age. We've been riding for so long, riding together for so long. It makes us all comfortable. Parang kung sa Blue Angels yan you get one guy who's not part of the Blue Angels sasali dyan. Medyo,
Yari.
di ba, dapat pareha sila, di ba, sa mga Blue Angels. So the same thing. I tell them, take it easy when you guys wanna ride because sometimes they say, Miguel, pwede ba kami sumama sa inyo? Saan kayo pupunta? Punta lang kami sa Nasugbu. Pwede ba kami sumama? I can't say no naman. I don't own the road. I say, sige. And then all of a sudden, pag they make sama, we just hear when we reach the destination, there was a guy who had an accident. Pala, it was this guy who was trying to keep up. See? So parang sometimes, well, in most cases, it's a minor accident. But then I talk to him. I tell him, what were you trying to do? No, sir, I was trying to keep up with you guys. Yun ang sinasabi ko. Do not try to keep up. I mean, we'll only be ahead for 2 or 3 minutes. You're gonna risk your life for 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, 2 or 3 minutes is actually far. If you think of it, you count 1 to 60. 1, 2, 3. Puta, layo na yun. Di ba? Pag 2 minutes
Oh
or 3
yeah,
minutes.
definitely.
But, you don't risk your life for 2 or 3 minutes. I tell them, easy lang. We always wait naman at the meeting place at mga destination. So that's my point.
And
A lot of...
yeah, and with
go ahead.
technology now, you can just send them the GPS point and pwede kayo magkita-kita, 'di ba?
Yes. But, I'm talking about maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago because we've been riding for almost 30 years. So 15 years ago, baka wala pa masyado, hindi pa masyado techy. So that's what I see. I observe when these guys want to join or want to ride or, or we don't know them from Adam. They're just behind us. Then they try to follow us. So, but they're surprised when they remove the helmets. Medyo they say, may edad na pala itong mga to. Di ba? So,
Then also,
I guess
it's also it's culture also, no? It's the rhythm. It's you're right. It's the time that you've spent
Correct.
together.
Correct.
Like, crossing the street in Vietnam, in Hanoi, is scary. But you see people doing it, right? But
Correct,
para sa kanila, crossing the street on Ortigas is probably scary also.
yeah.
But it's because that is their culture. That's how they grew up. That's their rhythm. No?
Correct.
Speaking of strong
Which I wanted
bonds.
to,
Oh, yeah.
if I
Bobby.
wanted to say about the rhythm, sometimes that's what we tell the guys. No, for example, when we came from the Mascara, a lot of guys will try to follow, and then when we meet them in the gas station or somewhere at the ferry boat, they would say, I tried catching up, but I almost had a high side, that sort of thing. So we're trying to tell them, the pace might be different because at that point you're riding 9/10 already. With our rhythm, we're just riding 7/10.
Yep.
So basically, you're on the edge, and we're not. But
Correct.
that's also with us. If you're not in the mood for the day, it's okay. I mean, don't push yourself and risk yourself in trouble. You'll have a better day. So
Yeah,
that's basically what it is. It's
that's
the
a great
maturity. It's the maturity of.
Correct.
that's a great point, no? When you said 7/10 and 9/10, no? It's really about, and maybe you can explain it to some of the people listening. It's about being in your comfort zone, right? It's about
Exactly.
riding your
That's what I meant.
pace. If you ride beyond your pace, yung ubos na, 9/10, isa na lang natitira, konting, may aso, may tumawid, wala ka ng,
Correct.
wala ka ng sukli. Pero kung tumatakbo ka, if you're running at 7/10, may bariya ka pa nun. Diba? You still have bandwidth to adjust.
Correct.
Correct.
So this is your comfort zone, and because you built 30 years to get to that comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah, they did that. Something similar to that is how we feel when I ride. I may ride a little faster than the others, but I'm comfortable at that speed and I'm relaxed. Now they did that same test with Valentino Rossi and Michael Schumacher. They put heart monitors on them, and
Mm.
then they were doing these fast laps, and their heartbeats were just normal, just to prove to you na they're so comfortable with that speed. They're hitting 300 kilometers in some corners or
But they're very
250
calm, no?
corners. They're very calm. So, parang what I'm trying to say is, ganun din kami at siguro at 120, 150, we're calm. But for some people who are going 150, they're
Limit na yun.
nervous, they're so tense, and then that's when accidents happen. See, so
Yep.
that's what
Yep.
we're trying to say. It's really all in the person, like what Bob said. The maturity and the experience. Ako, skill level, experience, saddle time, importante yan. There are a lot of young guys there now that I see them. Wow, they come in their best outfits, most expensive bikes, beautiful. I mean, they can afford it. They made some money or so and so. Wow, it's so nice to see them. But when they ride, ay, nako, it's so scary. Scary. Parang I'm scared for their families or their lives na, nako, baka ma-aksidente to. I even tell them, how long have you been riding? Sir, 2 months lang po. Ha? 2 months? Bike mo, ganyan kamahal?
Mm.
Wow, parang mahal niya na. He goes, you know what? I tell them, take a course. Take a course right now. Go take a course. Magkano yung course po? Pare, doon ako natatakot sa mga taong ganon. But they have the best. Ang ganda ng motor nila, ang mahal. Ang ganda ng suit, their gear, top of the line. But the experience, that's where accidents happen, and that's what in a way destroys the community. Pag may narinig, may na-aksidente, ganitong motor sa kalye, wasak, kumusta yung rider? Pare, patay. Talaga? Oo, pare, anak ni ganito. Di ba? Parang it's so painful to hear. So parang these young guys, please take a riding course. Take a course, a track course, a riding academy, a basic course. Take. Even me, imagine I'm still taking. I still want to take the California Superbike School. All these things. It's fun to just to take it again. It's a kite refresher. Diba?
The challenge kasi is it's easy to buy, it's hard to learn.
Yun. At
Right.
saka ang mga karamihan ng
It's an
mga bagong
investment of
riders,
time,
oo, puhunan lang nila, lakas ng loob.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're right.
mean-
At the end of the month, Jolly and I and the 29er Rider crew, we're going to be going on the track with Coach Joey Storm.
Yan.
Buck
Yan.
2 weeks in Germany with Mark Song to train to be a
Ayun.
trainer.
Yeah.
Before that, we were with Coach Mel. I mean, to be a 29er rider, you need to invest in yourself and
Correct.
learning. But
Correct.
on
Correct.
that note, you guys didn't get to where you are overnight. You spent a lot of
Of course.
time, Bobby. You
Yeah.
were saying you raced when you were young. You spent a lot of time improving your skills, and I think what you
Sure.
guys are doing now is this really fun way for groups of people, barcadas, to get that kind of experience, no? Without it being too hardcore, like yung pinag-usapan
Well,
natin in the beginning of
iba.
the show. Maybe you can share a little bit.
Yeah. You
Okay.
know, in our launch video, I think we showed the clear message of what Club 200 wants to convey. Kind of like our vision mission for this event. And it's basically telling the community to get into advanced riding for safety. In fact, in Nikki's closing, our member Club 200, Nikki Romero, he made a very nice closing statement. Let us all remember that at the end of the day, it's still safety. Otherwise, we don't enjoy without safety. So that's what we're trying to achieve here. It's not so much hardcore racing, but we want everybody to understand, go to the track and understand uh, how the bike turns, where to brake properly, how to control the bike, things like those. It's not just a matter of looking good, or people say, hindi sila matapang sila on the road. But so, in other words, for you to apply theory, you must have some safe practice grounds also, or implementing grounds also, and that's what we're trying to achieve here more than anything. Also,
So
that's why we designed it to be two races, is because the adventure will have a different pace than the sport bikes and the sport nakeds. So we're always looking after safety. And the other thing is, of course, endurance racing is at its infancy. So when we brought it up with the proponent of Pirelli Cup, which is Pipoy, or Philip Ang, we said, this is also a good jump-off point from your Pirelli Cup riders. No? So it's part and parcel of everything, and we're hoping that this will be the genesis of all that, no, improving the awareness of the community into advanced riding more than
so
anything
for
else.
for our for our friends listening, Club 200 is putting the first of its kind that I've heard of, and I thought it was such an awesome idea. It's an endurance relay,
Correct.
and this is going to be for groups. Well, three bikes, pero up to four registered, which I
No,
love.
no,
No,
uh-huh.
how does that work? How, wait, Bobby? Please
No.
explain to us how it
Okay,
works.
okay. If you read the rules, those who register, they'll be sent over a set of sporting rules and regulations. There'll be three riders, maximum stint of 15 laps each. So that's only 45 when you think about it, right? So there's going to be a fourth guy out of there's going to be a fourth stint out of the three riders that will have to come out and complete the 50. Or if you wanna, among the three of you, you'd say, okay, let's do 15. I mean, the maximum is 15. So it's either that, or if you want guy to be sprinting, so the minimum is 10, by the way. So you can put him out in 10 laps, maybe put a little less fuel, and gain some time there. Remember, this is also a timed race. I mean, it's 50 first to complete 50 laps, but they will be using transponders, so there will be race timing involved. Also, we wanted to make clear, because there were questions during the registration in our event page. The number of laps is counted inside the track. Meaning, if you went out the track, you can't count that, because let's say you went out and then your relay or your tag partner, your relay partner comes out, you can't count that as one lap. That is not counted as a lap. The lap will count for each guy passing the start and stop. I mean, the start and finish line inside the racetrack.
Okay, so
The,
what are the different categories
okay,
involved in the
yeah.
endurance relay?
Thanks for asking. Okay, the we have in the morning is the adventure race. In the adventure race, we also wanted to make it a level playing field. We had to think of something that everybody can enjoy, that power will not be so much as an advantage over another kind of bike. So first of all, we opened the classification from 400 cc to 1300 cc for the adventure class, provided they are only 2 or 3 cylinders. And the front wheel size is based on a 21 to 19 inch only. This is to separate the more powerful 4-cylinder engines with 17-inch tires, so that if you have an Africa Twin, or more of like a 50-50 adventure bike or dual sport bike, you'll be in this class. No?
So yung mga
But if you
hindi pwede yung multistrada, no?
no, they
Yung
okay.
Honda
No, because
XADV.
there is a multistrada that is a two-cylinder that has 19-inch and 17-inch rear
Meron.
wheel.
Okay.
You know, the Enduro and the 950 MTS. They're classified there because they're two cylinders.
Pwede.
No? Okay. So if you talk about the XADV, it's a 17-inch wheel.
Yeah.
It's a two-cylinder. You will have to fall in the Adventure Open because the Adventure Open,
Adventure
although
Open. Okay.
it's not a four-cylinder, uh, it's the wheel. So it's gotta be both. If you can't comply with both, you get into the superior class. In other words, you can't. For example, the Multistrada V4 that has 19-inch front wheels, it falls in the 19 to 17. The Adventure is 21 to 19. That's what I was trying to make clear with everybody. That's how the
Okay.
classification, to put everybody on a level playing field.
Okay. So we've got the adventure.
And
What's the
then,
other category?
okay, in for midday, uh, we offered to BMW, and they were kind enough to support it. Is a novelty race, just a 5 lap R90 race.
O,
Um,
dito tayo
just
sumali, Jolly.
exactly. This is like
Oo,
a
5 laps lang yan. Five
yeah.
laps lang.
This is for
Lahat
everybody
BMW
to have fun.
R90.
You know,
Boxer Cup. Boxer Cup.
and that's what we're trying to tell all the R90 owners. If this becomes very successful, I think the Boxer Cup here in the Philippines will take off. Many
Yun.
people will, because there's a lot of R90s here. No,
Marami.
so we were surprised with their population here. So we're saying, we put up a good show. It's really like putting up a good show for everybody. So we put
Yeah,
up a
yeah,
good
yeah.
show, then you've contributed to history already at some point for riding. And then finally in the afternoon, right after that, because that race will be 30 minutes at most. No, by the way, the morning race, we calculated to be 2.5 to at most 3 hours, including the pit changes and everything. For the afternoon race, this is the Pirelli Sport Bike Sport Naked class. And basically, this will be a spin-off for the Pirelli Cup in PSBK. But already now, we've seen quite a bit of non-racers that have registered. So uh, we were saying how it seems there are more privateers now or non-racers that have registered, no, because I think they want to jump off exactly how we anticipated it to be. They want to get into racing, but maybe gently, or I
No, no,
mean,
no. The pressure, because you're a barkada or you're a group of friends,
correct,
right? The pressure is distributed. It's not
exactly,
like it's a solo
exactly,
sport, eh. Diba? No,
exactly,
so I can call two friends and say, "Hey, do you want to try this out? It sounds like a lot of fun." And it's us as a group. And it builds that relationship. What I love about riding is you can build relationships without ever talking, just by how you ride together in a group, eh. 'Di
correct,
ba?
correct.
Kung paano ka inalagaan, kung 'di ba, kung medyo mayabang ka, hindi na ako sasama doon, which is kind of what na pa I love my cardo, my pack talk, edge, but nawawala yung gano'n because pwede kayong magtelebabad sa ride, eh. Pero before, it's really all I see is the taillight of the person in front of me and the headlight of the person behind me, and I feel safe and I trust these people. And now you bring that relationship to the track.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Uh,
Correct.
like during the launch, um, there's a lot of people have seen Miguel saying, it's not all about speed. It's also strategy. And let me explain to you why. Because basically, like I said earlier, the lap count is inside the racetrack, but you can win or lose inside the pit lane. If you make a mistake, if you don't digest the rules properly, no matter how fast you are, you suddenly fall behind because if you need to serve a penalty, they won't let you out the pit lane for 60 seconds every time
Mm.
there's an infraction or violation of the rules. No? So that's uh, with this infraction, it could be an understint. It could be you were trying to leave early. It could be because for the bike change, we also don't want everybody to be in a rush. You will have to consume 2 minutes or 120 seconds, no? To properly mount, dismount, for the rider, dismount and mount the transponder, and for the relay rider to properly mount and leave. So basically, that's all in 2 minutes. So so that there's no collision also inside. Nobody's really trying to beat each other's time. You're all the same inside the pit lane. So all these things, if you don't plan, for example, if you just go 15, 15, 15, then the other rider will go, you'll all be going in together, and there's traffic. But if you calculate or take a gamble and say no, let's do 12, you do a combination, so you're away from the traffic, then you're exactly not wasting any time with inside, going inside the pit lane, and that's what we're saying here. It's that's why we're saying the laps are counted inside at the end of the day, it's the race officials that can tell who is really leading, because this will all be jumbled up. You know. Again,
So,
the safety. Go ahead.
I mean, so the other variables are obviously the skill set, the skill level of the rider, the type of bike that they bring in, and all of these things come to play. And you have so much fun now strategizing, diba?
But
Ang
that
daming
Correct.
Iba,
elements.
that's what I'm trying to say. You can put the guy. For example, you have let's say a 600 and a 1,000 and another 1,000 in your team. So you can just get the 600, maybe little fuel, so he's faster without really trying, because he's lighter. So it's for you how to design your strategy more than anything else. No? It's not
Mhm.
like a brawl out
Yeah.
there. You know,
Tama.
it's kind
Hindi
of
siya
like
brute
You know,
force.
you don't need to be what everybody else is doing, and you might end up being the winner because of that too.
imagine because like the adventure bikes cannot use race tires. Wala naman
Yeah.
race tire ang mga adventure bike. So you guys will be using stock OEM tires. So you can't push it. Hindi mo pwede gawin, hatawin ko tong
Yes.
adventure bike ko. Maglo-low side ka. Remember, you're three guys. You're out. The other two guys are waiting for you to come in. So it's a team. So they'll say, oh pare, don't push it.
Easy lang. Yeah.
Hindi easy
Mhm.
lang, hindi race tires 'yan. Basta you finish making the laps consistently, you come in, transfer the transponder to the next bike, then I go out again after a certain allotted time, no, sa pit lane. So, strategy yan. Hindi pwede yung hataw ka ng hataw, hataw. And then, what if you low side? Hataw ng hataw. Sasabihin, ikaw kasi iba, hataw ka ng hataw. Tignan mo. Ngayon, hindi kami pwede lumabas. Si Jolly, at saka ako
Yes.
tuloy, or si Bob, di nakalabas tuloy. Hataw ka ng hataw kasi ano yun eh. So, it's really all about strategy of trying to stay on the bike. And, because once you crash, that's it of your team. You know,
Mm.
Game
sayang
over
din.
talaga.
Game over.
Well,
Game over.
there were questions about that. What if we crash and the bike still can run? Then no problem.
Habol
For
pa,
as
oo.
long as the marshals declare it fit to run, then but you will have the race officials will count the minimum stint also. If it doesn't get to the minimum number of stint, which is 10, you will have to be served a time penalty. So that's kind of like, I mean, I'm not saying insurmountable, but it's kind of like a tall order also. That's why you need to be careful. You know, it's not you can't gamble and say, because you'll be penalized for understint.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
yeah,
Jolly,
So
you've got
hindi
some
lang to
questions
ano,
about like
hindi lang to
the bikes,
I have no question about the bikes, pero
scrutineering, yung mga ganon.
medyo ano to iba no. Hindi lang to yung karera, hindi lang yung laban nasa ano eh. Hindi lang yung laban nasa loob ng track mismo eh.
yes, exactly.
So you have to plan, you have to strategize your yung pagpit ng mga bikes, yung pacing
Another
nyo.
thing, Iba, Jolly, is basically, I mean, we pattern this just like in the US, no? Of course, the bikes will be for safety, so that there are no debris. Turn signals, headlights will be duct taped. No? But also,
Mm.
with the same color is the rider. There's a band in his arm, so that we know if you're really a first stinter, or a second stinter, or a third stinter. Because there again, if you make a mistake there, you have to follow the order of the stint. You have to declare, okay, you don't have to declare how many laps you're doing as long as you meet the minimum or the maximum, but you have to
Correct.
declare the order of your riders. So in other words, you can't change. I changed my mind. You know, I'm going. I don't feel too well yet. You know, I'll just go on the third one. No, if you register, you're the second rider because you have an armband. The marshals will know. So they'll, for example, you know, it's the first guys out after the start. Which, by the way, the start will be a rolling start for safety again.
Ayun.
So there's
Yes, Mark Sung asked, rolling start, Mark. So that means sasali ka. Sasali ka, Mark, ha?
yeah. So
Wait,
we've
okay. For
discussed
my
that.
again, I'm a newbie. I don't know what that means. What does a standing start or a rolling start mean?
Okay, the standing start is like a grid start. What you see in PSBK, you know,
Yeah.
they're into the grids based on their time qualifying time trials. No, here there will be a quick qualifying time trials for each race. In the morning, the adventure guys will be allowed to go out 3 laps. Up to you. You know, any flying lap there will be chosen, and you don't have to. The three of you don't need to go out. In other words, any of your fast guy can go out and represent your team. You know? So that will determine the position. It's really just for the start. But what is right now? It's a rolling start, and basically I think we will issue a race bulletin. That this will be patterned like in a go-kart race, a corridor formation, pretty much like in the. I think it's also like this in the supercar V8 in Australia. No, two lines, and then basically they follow the safety car. Once the safety car goes inside the pit lane, the exit there. There's this what you call a yellow line. It's about 30 meters before the start finish line. No? That's the only time you can accelerate. In other words, before the yellow line, you still maintain position so that
Why
nobody
is
jumps.
so? Mark Song just said rolling start is much safer. Why?
Because basically, you know, the adrenaline has been shaken off for a bit, no, because you went around, eh. And of course, the safety car is controlling the pace. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you
and you're
cannot go
moving
over the.
kasi.
Yeah,
Gumagalaw ka na, tapos magte-take off na. So, it's better than, it's safer
Zero
than a
to
standing start. As you heard,
okay,
Standing
there was an
start
okay.
yung ano
incident.
eh, yung nagkakarambola minsan kapag may
yes. And the
nag-stall.
reason why,
May nag-stall. That has happened. There was an
yes,
accident just early this year. A bike stalled one of the guys in front, pole position in the first row, stalled, and another guy from behind hit him, and these two
yeah,
guys were
he didn't
hospitalized. But
see,
these guys
you know,
are
because
walking now. They're okay. I mean, but that's our point. No? It does happen.
to avoid the commotion actually during starts, no. And
Mhm.
also the reason why the yellow line is because if you look at the CIS track, the last turn is a high speed turn, no? So we're trying to cool down the guys and not so basically because the safety car is out already, so you only accelerate 30 meters before the start stop, and they will see. The race officials will see in the transponder if you jump it, because there's a sudden change in your time. Eh. This time is active. So once they see a big change in that, they know you jumped. So, I mean, it's sad to think that early in the race you're already given a 2 minute hold. So, better so
I'm
to be safe.
going to yung mga gear in the motorcycles, no? And you said you're gonna duct tape signal lights and headlights and so on and so forth. What else do people have to prepare for when it comes to scrutineering? Like, is there
Miguel.
a lista si Jolly? Ayaw niya pag-usapan yung mga engineering stuff eh. Scrutineering is age of the bike, an issue as well. Miguel?
Well, scrutineering, they check, we check everything. They will check your chain, pag masyadong masikip or maluwag, they'll check your tire, yung thread, yung thread limit. Pag pudpud na, they'll say, hindi pa pwede, you can go out in this. They'll check
Brake pads.
things that are the brake pads, yeah. They inspect the brake pads. Once they see your brake pads are thin, then you guys can go out. Bawal yan. Dapat makapal. Sisilipin mo lang yan. Kita agad yung brake pads eh. Kahit with the flashlight, kita na agad. Na kita sa motor. Aside from that, things dangling on the bike, like side mirrors, kalas. We can remove the side mirrors. But those that can't remove the side mirrors, which is part of the bike, then we tape over it, no? Because you're not supposed to be looking back, so tape the mirrors, just look in front. No? Headlights, anything that can break, like headlights, tail lights, signal lights, everything has to be taped.
Paano yun
So
yung
we'll do
mga
all of
adventure
that.
bikes? Ang daming nakakabit, di ba? May mga, ang daming
I will just
That's
accessories,
all
di
right.
ba?
That's all right.
It's all right. We'll just tape it. We'll just tape it. And a lot of the adventure guys were also asking this question. Racetrack yan eh, but I don't have leathers. No, we will
Yeah, that's
allow
another.
wearing adventure outfits. Adventure outfits with CE protection, pwede yun, walang problema. It will be allowed. So you can wear your adventure outfit on your adventure bikes.
And then even the boots, okay lang.
Yeah. Wag naman yung stiletto
Basta
boots, no?
rated.
Yung pang baba. Oo, yung mga stiletto. Hindi naman pwede yan. Sasabit sa shifter yan. Di ba? So, riding boots, of course, yes. Pwede. In fact, I think we have some ladies who will join.
Oh, wow.
Vloggers that will join. Yes. They want to join. They said they don't care if they don't win, but, they're ladies. If they finish it, imagine, they pioneer sila. The only 3-lady team that won in the endurance relay for the first time in the Philippines. Nasa history book sila sa Racing Scene ng Clark, di ba? So, we will have.
Ano, Mark?
We
Sali
also
ba
want...
tayo?
Sali kayo hindi pwede pag hindi kayo sasali,
Paano pala Miguel? Paano pala yung mismong bikes na gagamitin ng mga participants? Parang does it have to be stock? Kasi syempre, karamihan ng mga bikes may mga ginalaw na sa exhaust.
Yeah, naka-exhaust. Let's say sa adventure class, naka KTM 390 adventure ka. Naka pipe. Tapos yung si Iba, naka 1250 adventure na BMW. And then yung isang kasama mo, naka V-Strom 1000 na Suzuki. Pwede yun. That's the adventure class. That's one team na. Di ba? So, that's one team. And kahit naka-exhaust, okay lang. It's a racetrack. It's fine. So, we're not doing this on the
What
road.
about
It's in a controlled environment.
What about the age of the motorcycle? Like, Jolly has a 30-year-old GS Adventure.
That's really up to you. If you think it's
up
gonna
to
last
you.
15 laps, that's really up to you. As
How
long
old
as
is that? How
it
old is that
passes
adventure?
Araw-araw
scrutiny.
yun eh.
Di naman 30 years old, 20,
Unang
20
labas
sarado.
na adventure.
Pwede, basta walang tulo, ng
Yes.
langis, whatever, tires are good, brake pads are, why not? Eh, baka malay mo yung kasama o yung kakumpit mo, bagong-bagong bike, nag-low side agad. O di panalo ka, di ba? O, see? So, you know, so it's just, yeah, I think it's how you maintain your bike. If you know your bike's dependable, reliable, yeah, why not? Go.
Okay, so kami, based on yung mga discussions, super interested. I think, Bobby, you said there is a track day where
Oh
people
yeah,
can
yeah.
get a feel for the event.
Thanks for
Parang
bringing it up
practice run.
because we're getting a good inflow of registration, but some actually have paid, but have not filled up the forms that were sent out by CIS. No, so pretty much we don't know if they're going to be in the morning race or the afternoon race, but I think they will be in basing it on the clubs. Some clubs are like that, they paid just to reserve the slot because that's the usual, the mentality. This happens in Boss Ironman. When it comes to the last 2 weeks, everybody's just because the slots are running out. So that's what they're doing. But what we're trying to say, if you guys are joining, regardless if you haven't filled out the form but you paid already, uh, come on December 11, and then because what's important with the December 11 is we're gonna mark the grids in the pit lane and show everybody how you change, how you, in other words, from one rider to the other,
Yeah.
because it can be because there's three of you. You don't need to bring another guy. The guy who's not going out can do the transponder change. There's no refueling involved. It's not allowed. So that's what we wanted to show. We'll show how the grid is, where you're fast coming in, and how you go out. I mean, the traffic inside the pit lane. That is, I think, a good 30% of the race will happen there more than anywhere else. No? So, that's a lot to count when you think about it.
When is the track day? It's coming up in December, no?
December 11. That will
December
be an 8 to
11.
5, the whole day. Please register and show up in the track. We're gonna allow on-site registrations just so we can encourage everybody to go in the
Yeah.
because surprisingly a lot of people register. They know it's a three-man. I mean, it's a three-rider, three-bike race, but exactly how, because that's not, you cannot describe that in the rules. Even it better explained in the racetrack on an actual situation. So that's what we want to happen there. And of course,
Yeah.
for those going to CIS and it's their first time, it's also a good time because we'll be inviting some instructors there if they need to some clinic or whatever. They're available. Also, there'll be CIS marshals around for flags. I mean, these are all in the rules that will be furnished once you register. But just like a book in school, it needs some explanation by the teacher also. You can't just say, I know this already. There'll be some that will do that, but it's better if it's explained properly. So that's
Kaya
what we're trying to do.
importante tong track day na to. This December 11 track day is only for registered endurance participants. So the track will be exclusively closed for us lang. So kung
Yes, yes.
may
There will be
darating
no
doon na
other.
gusto mag-track day, o hindi sila pwede pumasok unless you're a registered participant. So this December 11 track day is very important because they can use that to practice na yung relay nila kung paano
Correct.
nila gagawin. So
because
very
it's not
important yung
fair for
December
those
11 draft.
who seriously want to join. If you allow others, because there are people that say, "Can I join? Can I join?" But I'm not joining. I said, "Look, I mean, the reason why we're doing this is for the benefit of those who want to make this a successful event, and we're giving them that time of the day already, the, for them to know the rules and also for safety." And
Actually, so many clubs now are, so many groups are, some are posting na in FB na we're ready for the endurance race. So and then the other group will, sort of text us. We're fielding a team also for our group. So there are many people already fielding teams. So it will be sort of it'll be a nice friendly competition between friends, between clubs, in this endurance relay. It'll be nice to see,
Yeah,
nice to
I'm
experience.
in the Club PK Viber group. Sobrang mainit yung pinag-usapan yung when you guys announced it. I
Oh yeah,
think they,
tingnan
they
mo.
they registered na yata pero pinag-awayan pa kung sinong lalaban.
Oh yes, yes. So
I heard about
so
that. I heard about that. I said, why don't you register two teams and then you decide later on? I mean,
yeah,
there's
so
still quite
there's
a
actually
few.
there was another group also like that. They called me up personally, Miguel. Can I race together with these two other guys? I says no, you can't. Why? You're still within the prescribed
Eight
requirement
years.
na
Yeah.
bawal kumarera. If you're a previous Philippine superbike racer within an 8-year period, you cannot race. Bawal naman. Allow the other guys to join, hindi ba? So, etong mga iba, tumawag sila, nagtatanong, Miguel, pwede ba ako sumali? Kasi sasali din. I haven't raced for like 5 years. You're still within the 8-year period. So you cannot race. Ganun ba? Sayang. So they really want. So they're fielding another group na lang. Another group their group members to race. But some of them want to race. But we made it a general rule na 8 years dapat. Na if you are still racing you have raced in the PSBK in the
National
last seven
participant.
years,
Yeah.
yeah, you cannot join.
Yung sa Club PK puro matanda na eh. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
In fact, I honestly I got a text from Des Buncho just now asking
hmm,
me,
Really?
Sir Miguel, Sir Migs, can I join? Naku, sabi ko, Des, hindi pwede.
Pro ka eh.
Oh,
PSBK rider
national
ka.
rider
oo
ka.
nga, oo
Yeah.
nga.
Oo, si Des Buncho. So, sayang. But, maybe her friends or she can coach na lang her friends. Although she's a good rider, she's a fast rider. She can just coach her friends and all
But
that.
but Iba, that's
To give
that's
chance to the others.
Jollibee. That's what's happening. For example, like let's say this Dashi, this what do you call this, PSBK superstars? They're forming teams. Those. I mean, not necessarily their followers. Those their students or what.
All of them
I
are
mean,
teaching halos, 'di ba?
yes,
Yes,
yes. So
yes.
so they're forming teams actually. You know,
And it's
and
a great way for people to start. I think what you guys have created is an approachable, accessible, even for people who aren't hardcore racers but just are curious. Kaya eh.
Yeah, kaya naman.
exactly. That's what we want to do. We
Kasi you're three riders naman eh. So, yung sige, ikaw na bahala. Ako na, I'll do my own pace first. And then after that, ikaw na bahala. Kung gusto mo 10 laps, 12 laps. Basta papasok na
Yep,
ako
yep.
after 12 or 13 laps, and then you take over. So, there's teamwork. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Let me add to the stream. Bianca, can you zoom in? Liit pala. All right.
Ayan.
So
Yeah.
how do people join?
Okay,
This
first
is for the
first you deposit. First you deposit to the Club 200 account, Union Bank account, and then your transaction receipt, whether it's a deposit slip or an or a GCash, you just screenshot and send it to this Facebook page. Just press on the message, upload it, and the CIS guys will take over. They will process it. They'll send you the link. I mean, they send you the link to fill out the form. It asks you how old you are, what bike you'll be using. So we know which part of the race, what which race you're entering, and then basically they'll send you a confirmation. Once you fill up the form and return it, that's by email. They will send you back email confirmation that you're officially registered already.
All right, Bianca,
Mm.
can we share this on in the comment section, and we'll share this also for our friends listening and watching if they're
Thank
interested.
you.
Mark, hindi ko kailangan ng manager, hindi ko kailangan ng team captain, kailangan ko ng teammate.
Yan.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you
Oh,
so
yeah.
much, Miguel, Bobby, for one doing this awesome relay endurance race. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you don't mind if we don't. I'm seriously thinking about joining if I can convince Jolly and Buck. Okay lang last place, basta masaya, 'di ba?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Um,
Oh,
Yes. Yes. That's the
Ang
important
maglalaban lang
thing. You
siguro
know.
kaming tatlo ni Iba. Kaming dalawa ni Iba siguro. Kami lang maglalaban for last place.
oo. But I mean, I
imagine
think
you'll
it's
be
going to be a
part of
fun
this
experience.
event.
Mhm.
You'll be
First of
part
its
of this
kind.
event. Yeah.
And
Oh,
the
it's
worst thing
really.
that can happen is you build a better relationship with friends, and you have
Yeah.
memories, right?
It'll
You've got this
be like a
experience.
festival of
Yep.
bikers, a community. It'll be really nice.
You know,
Mhm.
Iba, we uh, clubs from as far as Davao, like on any Sunday riders, uh, they're fielding. They have one team already, and then they're forming a second team. So as far as Davao, we'll be having participants. So
That's awesome.
because we we're trying to make this really into like a festival. In fact, we'll be
Yeah.
inviting all the clubs to come and ride over to Clark. Even CDC is excited about the idea. The LGU is excited about the idea, and even the Tourism Promotion Board. No? So it's not only just the race. It's we're really uh, even the track owners. They want initially early in the year they said if you can make this to become like a festival, then we come out with a bang. Especially this is the first time for
Yeah.
to hold. I mean, there's so many endurance races for cars at CIS, but this will be the first time for motorcycles. So
Yeah.
we're
Actually, Bob,
hoping to see a lot of people. Go
last
ahead, Miguel.
Sunday I was at the PSBK races at Clark, and Johnny Tan was there, and he
Oh,
was
okay.
with some people from Dorna, huh? And I bumped into Johnny. He goes, Miguel, oh, yung endurance race, ha? Then he introduced me to this guy who's a close friend of Carlos Espeleta of Dorna. And he said that Miguel's group, they're organizing this endurance race that's happening on Feb, and all that. So we were talking about it together with this guy, and Johnny was so supportive and so happy that
Yeah.
this endurance race is pushing through finally. So he
Sorry,
himself
what's
is
Dorna?
very happy. Dorna
What is Dorna?
is the officiating group that organizes the MotoGP,
Mm.
World Superbike, things like that.
Wow.
So they
See,
were
Mark
they
has
were
a
here.
suggestion for you guys.
Yeah.
For the
Okay. Let's
event,
hear it.
close the go kart track and have brands have bikes for test drives.
Actually,
Actually,
what does
idea ni Bob
Mark?
yan. Bob had something in that in mind. Oh,
Actually, initially, I was talking to Dennis Ayuya, and I said, "What if since we're thinking about this as a festival, let's also run the mini GP and the Ovale bikes, no? But of course, they will require transponders, and it's kind of like a headache to run simultaneous races. But we said since we're inviting clubs from all over the country, they need to do something. I mean, of course, there's the
Mhm.
endurance races, but you want them to do something inside the racetrack. You have the paddock. What do you call this? The sponsors display at the paddocks. There's going to be a DJ in the paddock, so so that it's festive. But we're also opening the kart track, and I've spoken to the concessionaires for the mini GP and the Ovale. So people can, you can ride around there. With Mark Sung about the test ride for bikes. I haven't really gotten feedback from the sponsors like KTM, BMW, Ducati, if they want to do that, no. But with these big bikes, maybe this can happen outside of CI, just outside of CIS, no. So that's basically what it is. If you want to have a feel of grip and everything, you can ride those mini GP and Ovale bikes. So there's we're trying to make this as festive as possible, and get other activities going during that day. And we will, because the as soon as we finalize the plans, the idea is to invite the clubs from all over the country, ride to Clark, arrive on a Friday afternoon, have a meet and greet, and then they go to their hotels, and then they come to the racetrack during the day, and we'll prepare something right after the races. There's going to be, we'll put up a stage and dinner for everybody. So there's going to be a party after. So it's something to look forward to. It's not just the race that we're looking forward to. It's really a get together that we're trying to create here.
All right. So as always, thank you again for being on Tunay na Rider. We've had
Thanks
Miguel
for having us.
Bichara on the show before,
Thank you.
and I asked him this question. It's the first time we've had you, Bobby.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay.
So this is how we wrap up most shows with a new guest, a new Tunay na Rider. What is your definition of Tunay na Rider? What does it take to become a Tunay na Rider?
For me, a tunay na rider is like a quintessential rider. You can ride any bike. You can and still have fun. Doesn't matter if you're riding an old bike, a new bike, a fast bike, a slow bike. For as long as you enjoy riding it, you're a tunay na rider for me.
Yon. Agree. Parang tunay na Renaissance rider.
Renaissance
All right.
rider.
Thank you again. And we will see you on the track day on December 11th. And we will definitely be there either on the track, maybe, but we will be there for dinner on what's the date?
Feb 11,
Feb 11.
2023. Feb 11, 2023.
Feb 11, 2023.
Yeah.
All right.
That's race
You know,
day.
Ride safe,
That's
everyone.
race day.
we're inviting everybody to come on December 11. Please, take advantage of this so that
For the
we
truck
can
day,
all
take
enjoy on
advantage of the truck
February
day.
11. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. Ride safe.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, Jolly. Next week we've got TJ and Toti Alberto, and then he
The
can share with us
Albertos.
um, the epic race that you were telling me about, and how does it take? Well, one, how do you raise a global competitor? I think TJ is one of the best riders in the country, and Toti, he helped build this industry.
Yan, oo.
Naalala ko may isang kwento siya na parang the first time nag-leather siya, pinagtatawanan siya ng tropa niya na parang ang exage mo na naman. So we'll hear more about that next week.